Welcome, everybody. A unique take on this year's All-Star race. It is time for the All-Star Open. Gonna be a lot of fun here. Obviously, a little bit of a different layout, because I'll be on track for the first time as we get this thing underway.
Second time this week. Actually, third.
Yeah, I feel third time this week. Yeah. But so kind of break things down here. We're doing a couple of interesting things. We have the All-Star Open coming up, and then the All-Star Race. The All-Star Race, me and Kevin will be in the booth, kind of like normal. But for the Open, I race my way into it. I'll be on the left side of the screen. I'm the in-car right now. I'm on track. I'm turning the wheel. La-di-do-da-day. Kevin will be commentating on the right side of the screen. So what he sees is what we're going to cover. The ticker for the actual race will be at the top of the screen. Right now we're in practice, but we're doing something unique. It's All-Star Weekend. It's North Wilkesboro. It's a non-points event. So we're kind of going all out and having a little bit of fun with it. I raced in the Select just about an hour ago and raced my way into this event. So now I've got to actually live up to it. And that's
No
easier
pressure.
said than done. Yeah, we'll be able to see and actually take care of driver and commentator at the same time. It is a special event. Just make sure that we still can see and deal with the and you may want to minimize the iRacing menu on your end.
I'm trying to get my HUD working. That's just technical thing. I had to force quit it on the other side. So trust me, I know, keep it minimized, but just me monkeying with some things.
So this is going to be interesting. But we appreciate everyone spending your time with us here on a Sunday evening. It's All-Star Weekend. And then I get to walk everyone around how difficult this track is, because it is not an easy place to be.
Mm-hmm.
A little over a half mile. We saw the Saturday Night Showdown series race here last night. And it was interesting. The Select was even more interesting. This car, as you can see, a little wily.
They're on board with the 96 here, just to show a wide onboard shot here. Fastest time right now is Edward Marshall with an 18.9. Carmen comes around here to finish her second lap. See where she can slot it in.
Probably not great. Fourth place. I'm last, right? I'm not last. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Emma Kruger is slightly behind you right now. So right now it's Feemster, fastest on the table. Then we got Marshall. So now we'll cut to Alfred George here. He's currently on a lap. So we got Feemster, Marshall, Garrison, Sienna, Kruger. That is your top five at the moment. Alfred George about to finish his first lap here. Kruger just jumped, so now you are now technically last, Carmen.
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you, but
I expected it. I slammed the wall in the first lap. But this track is very difficult. If you look at my screen on the left-hand side, it's not flat. It's not a level surface by any means. Coming to a start-finish line, it's all downhill. As you can see, it's very undulating, very much follows the topography of Wilkes County. So very downhill, very tricky. You carry a lot of speed into turns 1 and 2, and you have to kind of pick your lines. Either you hug the bottom or you go and you try to arc your way around. But then it's uphill up here in turns 3 and 4. And you can see there's a little bit of curbing here to kind of guide you. But it's very easy to snap at the top of the hill, because the way it unloads, not only does it unload laterally, but it unloads vertically.
mm-hmm.
So it is a very tricky short oval to kind of deal with. It's something that was very tricky for the trucks, and it's even more difficult for these next-gen cars because of the flat floors. These flat floors, very aerodynamic dependent. When you take the air and or when you stack a bunch of air underneath one part of it, it just stabilizes the entire car. And we've seen that a little bit in the actual All-Star race already, and you're going to see that a lot tonight. Drivers get a little bit snap-happy on turns 3 and 4. That's going to be the problem corner more than anything else. You'll see a lot of drivers send it through 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 is where it's going to snap on you, and it's going to be very tiptoey, especially once we get into older tires here, if we have to worry about a long run. Those that have had to deal with this car know how much you have to tiptoe on short ovals in this long run car.
Mm-hmm. As we're just waiting the last couple minutes here of the session, everyone basically done their laps. We got Patrick Allen currently sitting in the pit lane here. But while we wait, I guess it would be a good time to explain, Carmen, what are the rules here tonight for both the Open and the main race?
So, the Open, there's been 3 stages. The first stage, the Select, already happened. Davey Houck won that race. He's already in the All-Star race. The Select was for all the non-A² Cup Series drivers to race in. The Open is for all the non-full-time drivers in A² and those that made it from the Select to race into the All-Star race. The All-Star race itself is for all the previous race winners and All-Star race winners from the A² Cup Series. So there's going to be a decent amount of us. It looks like there's about 11 or 12 of us here that are going to try to make it into these top 3 spots. The top 3 spots in this Open race make it into the All-Star race. So only 3 transfer spots if you have to finish on the podium. And that's going to be the interesting thing. Now, it doesn't really apply to me because I'm not doing the All-Star race, or at least I'm not planning on it. But it's going to be a lot of fun seeing who can race their way forward. Kevin Feemster, Edward Marshall is a brand new driver in this competition. Mike LaJoy just got called up. We'll talk about all the driver changes coming up soon. I've got to get his number fixed. Obviously, they have Emma Kruger, Alex George, Josh Garrison. Obviously, I'm in this race. Lily Pelletier Sharp is in this race as well, the 45.
You geared up here again, top 3 will advance. No comp cautions. I'll throw the caution if there's a wreck.
So yeah, this is going to be quite good. And a nice little throwback to what North Wilkesboro, good old 80s, 90s short track racing.
So this is going to be interesting. So for everyone that's tuning in, we appreciate you spending your time with us on a wonderful Sunday evening.
Also, if you finish 4th or 5th, stick around. If we have, depending on what the attendance is for the main, we may let 2 additional drivers in.
So yeah, so every driver here fighting for the top 3.
May get you in the main. May take top 5. We'll just see.
So it's gonna be quite fun to watch.
Like.
And you're gonna see a nice mixture of throwback schemes on here. You can see the 21 Feemster running a Folgers 21, maybe shades of Tim Richmond. You got that 29 as well. You got that Ryan Newman 70 with Emma Kruger's running right now. You can see a nice mixture, different schemes, throwbacks, and whatnot.
I have a take on the Tabasco fiasco that Matt Tomlieri made. So. Yeah, the 18, I believe that's Josh Garrison. I believe you're about to fix that number because he's in the 44. Actually, he may be fine because this is all the this is a hosted session, so the actual numbers in the lobby are wrong. But he's in the 18.
Right,
he's in the 18 on our screen too. Cool.
Yeah, he's on the 18. Yep. 42, little Scoop Patrick Allen Jr. That Scooby-Doo machine. Only driver not the grid up there was Ryan Pinnell,
who's not allowed to race. He's a full-time driver, and he's already in the All-Star race.
Yep. So he came in here as the host, and he'll just kind of pull down the pit lane. But yeah, it's going to be 50 laps of fun. Cautions are allowed here, so if a caution does wreck, it's on race control to call it. But yeah, it's going to be quite a good showing.
So we get to see something a little bit interesting again for everyone. It just may not be everyone's cup of tea, but we're doing something a little bit different here.
I mean, I get to work the cameras for the first time on a live broadcast, so I'm not complaining.
And you're not hosting the internet, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. The best of both worlds.
Right? Absolutely. So it's gonna be interesting because I have to resist the temptation to look off to my side and see what everyone's doing up front. Because I have a feeling I'm gonna get smoked here. But because this is my first time racing in North Wilkesboro, but it's been a fun little challenge, and it's gonna be challenging for everybody here. Gonna be very physical. It's the All-Star race. There's no points involved. It's all about bragging rights here, and yeah, it's gonna be a little bit elbows out. It's gonna be interesting. The Select that we were in about an hour ago was very elbows out. And I don't expect this to be any more physical than what the Select was, especially with more cars and a lot of drivers that are already racing with each other on a weekly basis. This is going to be a treat.
Yeah, you can say that one more time. All right, pace car going to take the hard left into the pit lane here, waiting on the flag, and green flag in the air, and away we go for the All-Star Open. Great launch there on the outside by Edward Marshall. He's going to clear going into 1. You're going to have the 21 to 70 fighting hard here going into corner 2 here, and it looks like Kruger's going to try to make it a 2-for-1 going into 3. You can already see right now a little bit of argy-barginess, and Marshall doesn't want to let it go. Yeah, and that's really Marshall. Saves it, but he's going to come up right into the 42. Still can't get it under control. Finally will, but maybe gives Patrick Allen a little bit of damage on the front. but it's not what Edward Marshall wanted to see. He's definitely going to need a caution to get back in this thing. Right there, battle for second. Feemster and LaJoy fighting over the second, third, and then there is Sharp fighting for the last transfer spot right now. You can hang around the outside if you get the good lunge, but it's not where you kind of want to be. You want to attack high to low, just like almost every other surface on this track.
I don't think it's that way. I think the longer that this goes, the more you're going to want to be on the top side all the way through as caution's
Ooh, we
out.
got a wreck in the back, and that's going to be for the 47 and Austin Mungold, along with Alfred George. They caused a little bit of an incident there. So actually, it'd be a good time to kind of quickly test to see if this works. Yeah, I'll take a quick look here again, see what happens. We'll take it from Alfred George's perspective here. And we'll hit play. So you can see here, they're going to be a little bit of a lockup situation here. And 47 just kicks out on his own. There's nowhere for Alfred George to go. So 47 lost on his own accord. And ended up kind of collecting 2 cars involved. That will be a caution. Take one more look
here. 2 cars involved and 1 car come to a stop. Because there's 2 cars involved in the first one, too.
Mm-hmm. We'll take one more look here. We'll see if we can get a good angle here from... Yeah, we'll take this angle here.
I need to pull up the chat.
Yep. So we'll take one more look here. We'll kind of see, you're just going to see the 47 just tries to go low, and you can see right behind Sienna, and just kicks. Alfred George just nowhere to go, and ends up T-boning the side of the car there.
This is going to be so weird, because I'm going to be hearing you, but I might like half listening, half not. If I can not have volume playing on my phone, so I can set this on the side. That'd be...
Yeah, because even I got the chat on my phone as well, kind of keeping eyes. So I got that's different setup for me as well here tonight.
A lot of fun. It's something completely different and new, and I love it.
I'm enjoying it.
Okay, now I've got chat pulled up on my phone. Everyone, let us know how you think about this right now. Obviously, under caution for the first time tonight. What are you feeling about the North of Wilkesboro? See ARCS Racing Network's in the chat. Appreciate the love and support. All-Star Open underway. The All-Star race after this will take place about 8 p.m. Give or take a few minutes for the Open that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Very special night.
Yeah, and now we're back to regularly scheduled programming.
Maybe, unless they finish top 3.
Yeah, maybe.
In which case, you may be stuck up there for the night.
I'm not complaining.
You might have to, grab the keys and lock the door shut.
Let me out.
By the way, there's nowhere to go in Woods County. You're kind of on your own, buddy.
But Light's still on the pace car here. 3 drivers elected to pit there. Edward Marshall, Austin Mongol, and Patrick Allen Jr. Obviously, with Marshall's spin and Allen get a little bit of damage, they elected to come in. And then under the caution, Mongol elected to pit. So there's no choose here. Unlike we'll see normally in ARCS competition, there's a choose cone in effect. There's no choose here tonight. So Kruger will be stuck on the low side, and Feemster will have to slot in high. So based on position, they'll have to slot in accordingly. So as we come pace lights on the pace car currently out. So it's kind of reorganized the field here. You got Emma Kruger and Kevin Feemster, row 1. Lily Pelletier, Mike Joy and Lily Pelletier Sharp in row 2. Joshua Garrison and Carmen Sierra in row 3. Edward Marshall and Alfred George in row 4. George and Marshall. And then Austin Mongol and Patrick Allen making up what would be row 5. But with the caution and wave round situation, they'll be not lining up nose side by side. So pace car going to take the hard left into the pit lane here. Green flag in the out, and away we go again. Kruger gets a good launch there. Feemster's going to be able to slot in the second position. And everyone going to just try to fight for what they can get here. Ooh, Feemster gets a little checked up there, and that's going to allow the 29 to get punched. And it's going to end up stacking it up. Sienna's going to get around, and that's going to be a caution. And it's going to be Michael Joy and Joshua Garrison, where just nowhere to go for the 18. And ends up kind of just in the way of the 29.
Yeah, I believe there's contact between the 29 and the 45.
Yep, so we'll take a quick look, even though we did get a good perspective. We'll just take a quick look at that again here. So we'll take this back. And you're just going to keep an eye. Obviously, I don't have the pointer system, but keep an eye on that 21 of Kevin Feemster here. The Folgers red and black machine. So we're going to watch this play out here. And you can just see, as we're going to pause it, I'm learning these controls a little bit on the fly here. You can see he gets a little checked up, and right there, The 45 is sharp, just had nowhere to go, and ends up kind of just sending the 21 off, and then into the back wall, and ends up with nowhere the 18 to go as well. So we'll take one more quick look at this again. This time we'll take from Joshua Garrison's perspective here. Let's see if we can find a quick cockpit camera. There we go. So we'll let this play out. And you're just going to see, again, the 21 just comes up just a bit and no give or take, really. And then by the point here, 18 does relatively good to avoid any damage for the most part. Looks very slow. Probably the biggest damage in that instance was the 29 and the 45. But yeah, most cars still looking good. If you were going to come down the pit lane, including the 96, our little co-commentator here driving currently will elect the pit here as well.
I'm not pitting for actual fuel. I dropped something off of my my rig, and I'm trying to find it.
Oh, yeah, I heard a little bit in the background that you were kind of before we went green there. So it's caution's a bit of a good chance here. As they're coming off 3 and 4, so
yeah, couldn't find it, but we'll have to look for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something fell off and it went into Narnia, so I'm not sure where it went, but hopefully I don't find it with my feet at some point, because that'd be a bit annoying.
You don't want them to get locked under the pedals.
I think I know what it was, but it was a controller, I believe. I'm playing some of that new Saints Row update, and I set it down because I had a stream with Init Esports earlier, and I never put it back where it was supposed to go because my OCD is all out, but in the back here, so hopefully if something happens, I'm not going to be too awful scared here.
So light's going to come out in the pace car here. Got the 1 to go. Quick little fuel update again. Not much has really changed. Kruger and Feemster still row 1. Then it's going to be Sharp and Alfred's George, I'm assuming, making up row 2 here, as George is probably assuming going to come on up. Then it's going to be Marshall and actually, because that would be the 26s regardless.
22.
Yeah, George is going to go up. So it's going to be the 26 and the 47 row 3, 42, 44 row 4, and then Michael Joy and Carmen Sienna making up the last row here with 10 cars on the racing surface. So pace on lap 15 here, coming to 16. Second caution of the night. Pace car going to pull on off, and we're going to go back to green action again. Good launch here by the 70. 21 going to hope to not make a similar mistake on the previous restart. See right there, everyone going to hold station for the most part there. So we're going to try to foot the grooving here. Ooh, 47 goes a little bit wide, gives the 22 just a tap. And you can see in the side-by-side, Carmen Sienna is in a little bit of no man's land, trying to find a hole. Big lock up there by the Scooby-Doo machine. But as we see the battle for third, Sharp going to get around, and Marshall's going to fall down the fourth.
You better pray I don't get around these groups.
Well, I'm watching that right now. You almost took it 4 wide. Marshall trying to check up a bit. Alfred George goes up the groove, just a tap, taps the 29 LaJoy, and it's going to end up similar incident the last one. 29 and the 44 Garrison end up getting involved here. Very low contact, low speed though, so not much really to that switch there. Yeah, he'll get it refired back up here, just take a 3-point turn. But that kind of smelled calamity all over the place, so we'll take another look at this again. You can just see right there on the screenshot, you can see 4 wide, almost 3 wide ahead of hair. So let it play out here. Keep an eye on that green machine, number 29. And you can just see 3 wide. Alfred George just goes up just a tad, was not clear, and ends up kind of send the 22, 29 down the race surface into the 18 to Garrison, and ends up causing our third caution of the night. So we'll take one more look at this. Pull it back if we can. Take it from the 22's perspective here. Let's use the gearbox camera. So that's the back way. I'll just do cockpit. So you can see here, side by side currently with the 29, just goes up the race surface just a tad and ends up tapping the 29. And that's what brings out our third caution of the night.
I can't find what fell, but I'm gonna go lap down here.
Yep, you are.
That's whatever.
It's just a fun race for the 96, so
I'm out of contention. Woo! Now I can actually focus on That's gonna bug me for like the rest of the night. Y'all have no idea.
So while we wait for this field to kind of get bunched up again, if you are joining in a little bit late, wondering what is going on, this is the ARCS A-Square Cup Series All-Star Open with a little bit of a special, unique presentation where normally it's me and Carmen in the booth, but Carmen's currently driving, as that's going to be on the top left of your screen, while on the bottom right, you're going to see the perspective of the live race, where I'll be commentating on. So still waiting to go here. We're on lap 22, third caution of the night. At least for Carmen's perspective, we do get another caution. It's going to be a fight between her and LaJoy, Mike LaJoy, for who gets the lucky dog in respect.
A little bit of a blackout there on the good old side-by-side. We got it fixed. Still got to be able to be a technical... Got to be technically savvy to make this stuff work. Even when I'm driving, I'm still have to worry about technical perspective here. Yeah, it was one of my controllers that fell. I can confirm that it was, and it was my favorite one, of course, that I can't find now. So we are suffering.
You hate to hear it. But anyway, as we're gonna get the one to go here, it's gonna be Kruger and Feemster, row number 1, with Sharp and Marshall, row 2, Allen and Alfred George, row 3, Garrison and Mongol, row 4, and Mike LaJoy and Carmen Sienna, row 5. And remember, as we're coming up to halfway point, top 3 make it on to the main race, the main All-Star race. So you got to fight hard for that third position. That last podium spot is just currently in the 45's hands. Pace car going to take the pole off here. Green flag in the air, and away we go again. Good launch by the 70, but it's going to be a side-by-side fight for second here. Going into 145, going to get the elbows out. They all hold it nice and clean there. I'm keeping it straight. A little bit racy in the back there. And ever since the opening kind of laps where Kruger's been able to get around, she's been dominating up front for the most part. Oh, but we do see a little bit of an incident in the back there. Looked like with the 29 as well, Mike LaJoy. A little bit of a checkup there.
LaJoy and Allen got together, and it kind of threw Mike LaJoy wide. Because that's what allowed me to get to the inside of Allen. Car looped.
Oh, yep, that's the 47. Just saw the Mongol. And it's going to be one car, so we'll stay green. Similar to what happened for the first caution tonight, 47 just kind of lost on his own accord, struggling to get it low down. Back up to live action here for the front 3. No pressure from behind, so Feemster does not really have to press at the moment. Try to get around Sharp here. It'll take a little nose camera shot here just to kind of show you a lap around here. But with no real pressure from behind, Feemster can kind of just waltz it in for third and presumably get through the race with around 23 to go. But if he ends up getting a little bit too cautious, he could fall into the hands of Marshall, who is kind of closing the gap here.
I would love for a caution to get back on lead lap. I don't know why it would matter, because I don't want to be in the All-Star race. But I'd love to be able to compete.
Yeah, but you got to remember sometimes drivers that wish for caution. I think we talked about in the booth multiple times. Drivers wish for caution end up being the caution. So hopefully you don't got that Punky's Paw nearby. But up front, it is, even though they technically drive for, I guess not two different teams in the A-Square Cup Series, they, in regular competition, they drive for Gear Cats, and they're fighting 1-2 here hard to see who will win this open. But there's a battle for the third transfer start right now forming up. We got Feemster and Marshall. Really gonna, you can see in previous lap by previous lap, he likes sending it in deep going into the corner. Try to push that car in. But the 21's doing a good job of pinching the bottom, keeping it low enough that the 16 can't really get a fender in, and then getting the good drive off to ensure the run line's perfect. Was right 19 to go, 18 to go here. This is the battle for, as we're watching on board, this is the battle for the last transfer spot. The next driver behind the 44, or sorry, the 18 of Garrison, Joshua Garrison, is about a second and a half back. So if they do tangle, Garrison's not far enough away that he could end up taking one of these transfer positions. Ooh, Sharp just had a slight blink out there, but she'll get it back. Well, you can see the 16 getting very agitated here. Trying to find a way around. Oh, you can see right there, almost gets a nose to the fender. Top four basically all under a blanket. We'll cut back up to the lead battle here as well. See, it's still continuing to grow. 70's holding patience on the 45. And no real reason to press other than one better position for the main race. But it looks like Feemster goes up the track just a bit. It's going to allow the 16 to get a good run here. As we're coming up to 14 to go. How aggressive the 16 is going to go for a move here. He's going to take the bottom. Going to force it around. Can the 21 get a run off the corner? He will still be there. He's got a fender. And they're going to be side by side, almost by the line. But the 16 will get the job done. So now 21's going to be on the attack. He's going to have the bottom back. Going to try to switch back or do the similar move the 16 did to him. Oh, he goes up and he doors him. Gives him a hard door with 13 to go. Now 12. The 16 going to hold station, going to come back down and close the door off. They are fighting hard for this last transfer spot. Did the 21 burn up his stuff, though? He's starting to lose a little bit of time here. We'll cut back to lead battle right now between Kruger and Sharp as they're going to catch a little bit of lap traffic. The 47 of Mongold. As you can see by the side-by-side as well, Carmen's in her own little battle trying to hold off the 44 and the 29. 45 goes a little bit aggressive there into the corner as we're coming up to 9 to go. Both will successfully get around. Well, not yet. 47 going to hold station. Now both late 2 will get around here. The lap down machine will now lap down to the 47. It really just comes down to how much does the 45 of Sharp really want this victory here. Will she lay the bumper to a friend and a teammate in other competition? 47's going to loop it right in front of the 4 of Edward Marshall. One car, though, we will stay green. That is not what Edward Marshall... Oh, he's going to lose into the inside wall. Now he's stationary on the track, and he'll tow. So a bit of a race for the 7, but we will stay green.
Yeah, there goes Mongold.
70 just taps the wall just a tad. Going to allow the 45 to close. Even Marshall's now joined the fray. Feemster is a distant 4th as we're coming to 6 to go. Right there, 16's going to get a move on the 45. 45 going to smack the wall. It's going to allow the 16 on the inside. It will successfully get the pass done. So put Marshall up the 2nd, Sharp down the 3rd. Feemster just needs a little bit of luck or a caution if he wants to be back in the fight for this last transfer spot. Garrison's found some late run speed. How bad does he want to make the move on the 70 of Kruger? Three to go. Right now it's transfers. It goes Kruger, Marshall, Sharp. They will all make it in. Feemster will be the first driver on the outside looking in. Garrison gets a good run center off corner there as we're coming to 2 to go, but nowhere to take it. For entering 3 and 4, it's going to be Kruger still holding strong as we're going to start the white flag lap. Sharp going to try to make a move for second as Kruger's got 1 lap to bring it home. Marshall does not get a good enough run off the corner there. It's going to allow him not the greatest opportunity, but it looks like he'll counter back here. He's going to go for a send, possibly. He's going to have the inside. He's going to have a corner to the touch. They're going to be side by side here. Coming to the line. Is it going to be Kruger or Marshall? Kruger holds throttle and will win the Open. Marshall second. Sharp third. They will all advance to the main race. Feemster, first driver out looking in with Garrison fifth, George sixth, Allen Jr. seventh, Carmen Sienna, our co-commentator here, in 8th, and Mike Joy 9th, and Austin Mongold will round out the top 10 here. But great drive. You love to see that end result there. Clean and fun. That's what we're going to see.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Enjoyable to watch. So that is going to be that. So Carmen, any thoughts on North Wilkesboro?
That was a lot of fun. I got my butt kicked pretty hard, but that was a lot of fun. I know people don't like people give it a bad rap. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It got exhausting battling with Michael Joy there for that being the first car lap down. It was physical. It was definitely very physical. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit... We're going to give it a couple minutes for the actual All-Star race lobby to open. Mm-hmm. But I'm very thankful that I had a chance to actually race. Doing something completely unique, something new, something kind of on the fly. That was fun. I didn't finish last, which was what I was expecting. So I'm happy.
You did better than I would have. Let's put it like that.
A great job to Emma, Edward, and Lily. All three of them did a phenomenal job tonight. Can't wait to see what they do in the actual All-Star race here in a few minutes. But congrats to all of them. See if we can actually talk to... I don't know if we can talk to Emma or not. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was well worth it.
Well, it's good that you had some fun there. Quite enjoyable. Just trying to find some kind of angle here to end this on. Yeah, we'll go far chase. Sure, why not?
It's so hard because there's not a lot of cameras here. We haven't had a chance to actually touch anything.
So I'm just trying to find like a good cross by line shot. But yeah, there's your finish result there. Emma Kruger bring it home in first position with Joshua Garrison Edward Marshall, my mistake, not Joshua Garrison, Edward Marshall second, and Lily Pelletier Sharp third. They will all advance to the main All-Star race coming up around 8 o'clock. But yeah, do not go anywhere. We'll be bringing that relatively shortly.
Yeah, right now we're just kind of trying to fill time here while we're sitting in this side-by-side perspective. That was the most difficult part about that was the just how much you abuse that right front, because you lock up the brakes and you have to be very timid on the brakes to avoid really locking up the left front, and you end up just leaning a lot on the right front. And it's funny because, like, despite how much you wear that right front, it's always the left front that you're always afraid of locking up. So you always kind of shoot a little bit wide, especially going down into turn 1 and 2 because it's all downhill there. Mm-hmm. And these drivers are going to have a lot to deal with that because it is it's a completely new thing. Just having to not only fight the car itself, but having to fight gravity too. Just a completely new element to that. Obviously, everyone kind of watching and waiting here. There's going to be a lot of cars in this All-Star race, I think. It looks like it would be closer to 20 cars if everything goes according to plan.
So double this field.
That's the hope, anyway. If we can get like 16, 17, 18 cars, that's a victory.
And there is a chance there, because I heard it in the pre-race. There is a chance if low entry is a turnout, which hopefully that is not the case. But if that is the case, Feemster and Garrison could still get through. But at the moment, they are still going home at the moment.
Well, the good thing for both Feemster and Garrison is that they're already in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
So like literally just like, hey, come on back on track. It's not like people are having to like get back in the hard way, and it takes like 10, 13 minutes to even get there. So that's a positive to that. But yeah, that was very physical. I haven't for this being my first night to ever race North Wilkesboro. I've had this track for a little bit. This is my first time ever actually driving it. I can see why people love this track. It's a completely unique challenge. And obviously as the track gets updated and renovated, that challenge is just going to get more and more complex. So tonight was a good night. Even if like I finished 8th in the open, tonight was a good night.
Well, glad you had some fun. That's the main reason why that's the main reason people pay and run iRacing, is to have some fun. And it's quite good that you enjoyed your time here, as it looked like you had fun, at least from what I heard.
I am going to kind of say, so I'm looking at the chat. I see Olivia Hayward joined the chat. And she made a comment. Okay, you've had your fun, Carmen. Get the F back up here. You're saying this as if you're actively in the booth. Did you take my seat while I was in? Like, are you just like a phantom and you're just sitting in my seat? Because these North Wilkesboro seats are not comfortable. I've been up here before. I've been up here yesterday. They're not comfy. How can you say it's comfy? It's wood. It's just a wood bench.
I mean, I sat when I've gone to some soccer games and some lower tier baseball games. Yeah, I've sat in some benchers that were steel and wood, and you can make do with it. It's not something I'd like to sit there for long, but you can make do with it.
Oh crap! I accidentally switched to the Discord server, so people got a glimpse at the ARCS Discord server. By the way, you can join that by visiting racearcs.com. So. Actually, I'll go ahead and post that in the chat. Oh, please tell me the Streamlabs is working.
No, it's everything. Well, I'm still here.
I'm talking about like the actual bot. I guess the bot's not working again.
Oh,
this is a bummer. So we're killing time for those that are wondering. So we'll kind of sit here for everyone that is with us this evening. I'll kind of pull this off to a different side here so I can actually see everything still. For those that are with us, kind of just give us your thoughts on North Wilkesboro as I try to get Streamlabs bot to work. Do you like North Wilkesboro? Do you not like North Wilkesboro? Have you raced on it? Let's kind of deep dive on this track while we wait, because ARCS follows the real life NASCAR Cup Series calendar. So North Wilkesboro is this weekend, Charlotte's next week.
Or at the very least, if you want to talk about it, or we could talk about it as well. If you didn't like that first question, I don't want to take the thunder off, but maybe since it's a throwback week, let's talk about last time North Wilkesboro's on the calendar. Give us one of your favorite 90s NASCAR drivers if you want to that bad. There's a lot of things we can talk about right now.
It's likely Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt.
I mean, you go Mark Martin, Harry Gant, Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte.
Emma did about 20 minutes of practice. Yeah. Emma, you're just cracked.
Yeah.
I'm racing against you enough to know that you're just cracked.
I wish I could step in a car with 20 minutes of practice and end up winning.
That's
it makes my life so much easier.
Emma's one of the winningest drivers in ABN history because of that.
Mm-hmm.
She just cracked. She's got talent. I've got talent with an apostrophe T. For those that don't get it, spell it out. Talent with apostrophe T. That's me. Got 18 people watching. We appreciate you. We're just killing time. Just kind of causing. This is the podcast intermission because I don't want to play music right now.
I mean, trust me. I have had to do this when I was doing commentary in the old F1 2020, 2021 when there was a D seed and we had to wait for the lobby to get populated again. Yeah, this has happened before. So it's an expertise that I'm at least somewhat comfortable in, I guess you can say.
I realize that Streamlabs bot is in. I just typed it wrong because I'm a dummy. I'm just dumb. I looked at Streamlabs and was like, what? Why is Streamlabs bot not working? Yeah, Olivia Hayward, sympathizing with you on the F1 red flags. They were rough.
Yeah, just had to sit and wait while the lobby gets in. Just had to fill the time. Yeah, not. It's fine if you have a good co-commentator like me and Carmen. We're quite good, so we can fill the time quite nicely well. But if you're solo boothing, it's just like, the paint wall looks nice. Let me read a passage from my new book.
So, ARCS officials by ARCS Racing Networks in our Twitch chat. Main lobby opens in about 5 minutes. There's 30 minutes of practice, then 10 minutes of qualifying, and then a 100-lap race. And this is important. All of those that have raced in the Select, in the Open, they've had time to practice this track. They're going to have a little bit of an advantage with experience here at North Wilkesboro tonight. The drivers that are already locked into the All-Star race have not had a chance to practice. They've not had a chance to do anything in this All-Star event. So they're going to be on the back foot a little bit. That's going to be exciting to see how, especially drivers like Emma Kruger and Lily Pelletier-Sharp. Pelletier-Sharp for the first time in ARCS Cup Series competition. We've seen her in the HTL Cup Series on Monday nights, but this is the first time she's been able to race on Sundays here in ARCS, and it's a lot of fun seeing her race with Emma. Technically, they're not on the same team, but being able to see them race together is a lot of fun. So that's just grand, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. Edward Marshall, he's brand new. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and speaking of Edwin Marshall, if I can ever find the driver lineups here, yeah, he is roster changing and he's doing something. So many servers on here. I saw.
Yes, I know you all technically are the same team. You technically are Gear Cats, but you're not Line Power, which is the point.
Yeah.
Like Line Power is the ARCS team, and Lily's not on Line Power.
Yeah, it's technically, officially, I guess you could say, it's a 1-2 for Line Power with the new Edward Marshall, even though technically this is not a points-paying race.
Oh, that's right, because Edward Marshall replaced Alex Shimkowski.
Yes, correct. So, well, I guess we'll kind of, while we wait for some time here, we'll probably bring it up.
Really good time to cover that, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess we'll bring it up now while we wait. We'll obviously bring it up next week for the next points-paying race as well. But we'll do a quick run over the driver lineups, the driver changes, and only a few teams elected to make some changes. Black S Racing, we'll start with them. Brian Rupert ends up getting the boot in question, and he will be replaced with Mike LaJoy, who we just saw here tonight in this All-Star Open. And then for the part-time ride, Tristan Catania is going to end up getting replaced in favor of Dale Markowitsky. So Markowitsky in the 48 will take in the part-time role for Black Acid, and Mike LaJoy will take full-time racing in the number 88 for Black Acid Racing. So new face there. Sunday Money Racing, another team that ends up going to make a change here, even though they are pretty high in the points. They're actually the points leaders after Kansas and the constructors, but they want to take a few swings at maybe trying to get something to work here. But it's only a minor change, really. It's going to send Homebrink from the full-time opportunity down to the part-time role, and Cody Pinnell is going to go from the part-time to the full-time. So no major changes driver-wise, but they're going to change the roles of the two drivers in question for Sunny Money Racing. And last, and certainly not least, as we just kind of hinted to it, Alex Simkowski is going to get the 99 for Line Power, is end up going to get dropped in favor of Edward Marshall, who finished second in the open race here, and he will be piling the number 99 on a full-time basis for Line Power Motorsports in the A-Square Cup Series. So these teams are now officially locked up until after Watkins Glen on August 20th, where the drivers can make one final change for the home stretch of the last 12 rounds.
Yeah, it's going to be, so we got some team changes going on here. So that's going to be a lot of fun to follow. And obviously we will see able to follow it more next week for the 300 at Charlotte. So there's that to look forward to. But that being said, we are going to go ahead and step aside for a quick intermission so we can get something to drink and get ready for this All-Star race. So don't go anywhere. We have the All-Star race coming up next, so stay with us.
Stay in the depth, stay.
Welcome back, everybody, to the All-Star Race. Practice underway right now for the All-Star Race. Callie Height getting in the Twitch chat. Has Carmen crashed the car yet? No, I didn't crash, actually. I went a lap down because I dropped my controller on the floor and I had to look for it. But I didn't crash.
Honestly, coming up on the reasons why someone went a lap down in a sim racing competition, I think that's one of the first reasons I've heard of. They've dropped the controller and ended up going a lap down because of said reason.
Okay, so let me kind of walk through this. So I race on a wheel. I have a $600 wheel that I use, but I had a controller because I was playing games in between streams because I was streaming for in an esports earlier. So I was streaming for Internet Esports. In between streams, I was playing the new Saints Row update. And I set down the controller right next to my wheel, which is not something I normally do. But because of that, when I started racing early on, my controller fell and it went behind my pedals. So that's what happened, and I went a lap down trying to get it out from underneath my pedals.
Fair enough.
Another thing about this race is a lot of it's a throwback week here.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone trying to go after me for trying to keep myself from breaking my controller with my brake pedal. Okay.
I mean, I'm not judging you. I get you.
You're not, but my chat, including one of my directors of competition.
The only thing I would say is it's probably a good idea to make sure you put your controllers in a safe spot before you start sim racing.
Yeah.
But I get you. The PlayStation Xbox controllers are expensive.
They are expensive.
I'm not going to end up breaking a $60 controller and have to replace it just because I didn't know where it went. So, like I said, I agree with you, Carmen. But more preventive steps could have also happened.
Yes, I mean, 100% I should have put it where it was normally going to go. Because it has its own little container on my desk. And I didn't put it there because I was lazy. Anyway, we're about 10 minutes through practice here. Again, this is a little bit of throwback. So we didn't have Darlington last week because a lot of ARCS members went to Darlington last week. So All-Star Throwback Week kind of got pushed back here. So we're seeing a lot of throwbacks. Ryan Pinnell driving one of those throwbacks, as is the 70 of Emma Kruger, who we saw briefly there. Kruger has not jumped on track yet for us to look at her car. Toby Estes, not in the throwback.
Yeah, Feather Place, not a throwback. Tom Sears in a similar scheme, but with a special hood.
I was invited. I'm an admin at ARCS. I was invited. I just couldn't afford to go. Also, I'm saving up for an ABN meetup at Indianapolis next year.
To watch redacted cars go around the track for 500 miles.
It's 800 kilometers, get it right.
200 laps.
Yeah.
Pick the unit of measurement you want. Since we're American, we could use football fields.
Toby Estes not in the throwback scheme in the regular 29 that he typically runs. Folgers 21 of Kevin Feemster finding his way around. Davey Houck's car is interesting because he's technically in the 19. That's what he's classified as. But he's running the 121, which is a Dan Gurney throwback. I know a couple people in the chat said they love the Dan Gurney throwback. That's what it is. Dan Gurney at one point raced in the NASCAR Cup cars because he raced in everything, and that was one of the cars he ran. So, nice little touch on Davey Houck's car and his return to competition in the ARCS Cup Series. Well, Alex, so you're saying go Ford, go. Ford is not even in the top three. Toyotas and Chevrolet in the top three at the moment.
Well, Gaming just got a Ford up to fourth.
Yeah, but he's been fourth.
True.
The only person that just recently moved up was Tom Sears, because it was Gaiman and Feemster. Sears puts another Toyota 5th.
Yeah, I saw, and now Ford went top 3. So, Davey Howard. I was right about 20 seconds too early, but I was right.
I know I'm not in the top 3. I've never been top 3. I don't. I finished 4th on Thursday.
Oh. hey, welcome to the 4th place club.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You finished 4th last year. No! 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 It's over. Champ Car's over.
It's a tradition. Commentators have to finish 4th in the running order.
In fairness, you didn't. I finished 4th behind Junkos Hollinger esports driver this year, so I was kind of okay. I need to see how many laps you led last year. If we led the same amount of laps, I'm going to cry.
I don't think I led that many because I think at the end, I think I didn't lead many because I only took a couple near the end because most of the time I was running the train behind Christina and Christian. So
I'm still gonna check, and if you led anywhere close to the amount of laps I led, I'm gonna cry. You led 3.
There's no way.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way I led.
I was about to lose my mind.
Because you said like 25 you led, give or take. So I was like 23. So I'm like, I know I didn't lead anywhere close to that because I was content
Christina
running.
led 98 last year. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was content running 3rd in the train.
A lot of cars out on track now to slowly get there. 14 cars, modest grid. Obviously, they were hoping for about 14, really about 16 to 20 is what they were hoping for. 14 is not a bad number. Especially for a track as difficult as this.
Yeah.
Honestly, more people need to buy North Wilkesboro on iRacing because when they update this track, you're going to get it. You're going to get the update. So, invest now.
Yeah.
Also, this track's just a lot of fun. I used to be firmly against North Wilkesboro. Having raced tonight, I think I'm kind of on that fence now. I kind of like it. Would I race it all the time? Absolutely not. But I'm kind of on that. I'm kind of on board with it now.
So yeah, it's going to be 30 minutes of practice. Obviously, we're halfway through practice right now. Then 10 minutes of qualifying, and then the main race, 100 laps. Just in case anyone wasn't here for the Open, which if you weren't, then what is wrong with you? You should have been here for the Open. It was fun. But we're glad you're here now, though. Catch the practice for the main All-Star race.
So Josh Gaiman sitting 3rd fastest. This is a silver, like a washout on that 61, which I kind of like. I wish it'd be a little bit more metallic, but I'm not against it at all. Tom Sears running the black 213 somewhere machine. Not much of a throwback, but I guess kind of a throwback to his win last year at Talladega. But not much of a throwback there for the line power cars, except for not Lily LTA Sharp. Lily's still in the 45. That's her HTL car, funny enough. So, getting a lot of use out of that. Give a shout out to Henderson Graphics, who designed that paint scheme. Looks like we had a 15th car on Donald Ray in. I'm waiting for Kruger to get on pit. I guess Kruger's on pit lane. There's the 70 of Kruger, who immediately disappears. As soon as I focus the camera on the 70, she vanishes. But we're trying to show off some of the throwbacks here. Kruger in the one of the older Ryan Newman throwbacks.
Yeah, 2002 when it was not the 12, it was the
one he took a
07.
wild ride in.
Yeah, the one with a 0 in front of it.
Yeah.
02. That's the one I'm looking for.
That was his rookie car, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Gaiman, metallic, not 100% metallic, but different theme color here tonight.
I like that throwback. I'm typically not big on tobacco sponsors, but that's a really good throwback. The Kodiak number 2 for Donald Ray.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's a Smoky unit car, if I'm not mistaken. It's got the presidential, it's got the Penske number 2, but I believe it's a Smoky unit car.
Yeah, I think you are correct as well.
I'm not as big on my NASCAR knowledge as I am on the open wheel side of things.
I'm kind of the reverse. I know there's people I know that could probably smoke me in a NASCAR trivia competition, but I hold my own. I'd bring out a solid podium. I'd be a good third option on a Quiz Bowl team if it was NASCAR trivia. Maybe a second option. But I ain't getting no scholarship to NASCAR University with my knowledge. But coming up with 11 minutes, we just passed 12 minutes and some change. Right now, Feather Place is the fastest. It's actually a line power 1-2. With Feather Place and Sears running the quickest times, almost identical on their laps.
Yeah. Donald Ray moving, kind of running some laps here. In the number 2 machine, sitting in the 13th position. Edward Marshall, the only driver that has yet to start a lap time here. So about 10 minutes left in practice.
Mm-hmm.
As we get underway.
I guess also while we're waiting the last 10 minutes up here, since again we're kind of doing a little bit of podcasting and watching, the real life champ car had their qualifications today. So people's thoughts on that as well in the chat.
We really should do a podcast at some point. If I ever had time, I'd host a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk about so much.
I mean, consider the fact that throughout the point right there, why you could throw the point today's bump day procedurings as why a lot of major events need no provisionals, and it should be race your way in just for that. Because the drama in it.
I could spend 3 hours worth just talking about talking about ABM plans that we have, like just kind of sitting idle right now. I could spend hours just talking about that, let alone talking about real life motorsports or soccer, which hurt my soul yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of people, teams I know, are a bit of skids currently in the MLS.
Oh no, did Inter Miami lose too? What a shame. Sorry, Christian, I love you.
There was some heat on that one.
I think Inter Miami's still above Columbus, so he has no reason to complain.
But they lost to Orlando City.
I lost to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's leading the supporter shield.
You lost both Derby teams lost to their rivals.
I am broken. I'm racing North Wilkesboro because I'm trying to numb the pain. I got eliminated.
That's a healthy way to handle the pain.
Callie's like, oh, they're talking sports. Bye.
Well, I got to pass some of the time here.
Yeah, we have a lot of practice time here. 30 minutes, and it's for a lot of the Cup Series drivers, they need it. Because this is their first time tonight running on North Wilkesboro. Better Place, who we're looking at, top of the board. Then it's Sears, Gaiman, Peltier, Sharp, Estes, Hauk, Ray, Marshall, Feemster, Kruger, Roberts, Pinnell, Kerr, Withers, Garrison, top 15. I should have annoyed Aiden Norman, make him race. He would have been locked in. He won at Circuit of the Americas.
Correct.
Reynolds also was in here. Tommy Reynolds also missing out the All-Star race.
Weird. Points leader. Very odd.
I mean, this race doesn't count for points, so I guess it doesn't matter, but still be cool.
Pride. Yeah. He's probably taking as an off week to get rested up to be ready to smoke the next 12 rounds.
It's going to be very competitive. We'll talk about the rest of the season, the next 12 races coming up. After this, because it's a crazy.
Oh yeah,
there's a really good stretch of races here between now and Watkins wins. You mentioned the 24th race this season.
Yep, because we started after the All-Star break, obviously with Memorial Day weekend. We start with the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Polk 600 or 200 laps basically, so the equivalent of a half distance in there. And then after that, they go to St. Louis for Worldwide Tech Raceway, Gateway to be more precise, on June 4th. And then second road course is Coda's technically a road course, and they go to Sonoma, out in wine country, which is going to be quite interesting because a lot of these drivers, some specialize in running road courses, and that's going to be one of their ideal situationals of driving. Then moving on to Nashville on June 25th. Then on July 4th weekend, or at least before July 4th, Chicago Street Course, first time that the A-Square Cup Series is going to Chicago Street Course, and it will be for 50 laps on the 17th race on July 2nd. Then, New Atlanta. We're going to see that again pop back up on July 9th. Then, a little bit short track racing at New Hampshire, the tricky triangle of Pocono, some more short track racing in Richmond, the 2-mile track of Michigan. Then, August 13th, they go to Indianapolis for the road course, and then Watkins Glen to finish out the calendar. So, looking at the calendar alone, you have a street circuit, but you also got 4 road courses. You got a little bit of mix everything. A few short tracks, some 1-mile, 2-mile tracks. You got a little bit of everything in this next just the 12 races, even a plate race or a super speedway race. So it's going to challenge a lot of these drivers to get out of their comfort zone a bit. So if they really struggle at road courses, well, you got 4 of those to deal with. And also, with the part-time drivers on the list as well, this is a good chance because they can circle dates. So, for instance, we'll use Aiden Norman's example, as he is a part-time driver in question. He could be like, all right, I know I'm good at road courses, so I'm going to use my two part-time entries at Sonoma and Indy Road Course. So there's a lot of element of decisions for the drivers to make. It allows the teams to get out, and in turn, looking at the points, even though a good amount of drivers already have 2 wins, Breo and Reynolds come to mind, it's a good chance for the constructors, though, it's a very tight fight between Sunday Money Racing, Bandit Racing, and B-Tron Racing, with about 100 points between all 3 of them, and even with Line Power about 250 out, and Presidential Racing as well. The top 5, it could easily, with a good swing or a good couple rounds, could easily maybe pull Presidential Racing up into the top 3 and be fighting at the end of the 24 rounds and the back half of the calendar for a chance to win the constructors. So there's a lot to watch out for, a lot to pay out for, but with this variety of tracks, it's going to be enjoyable.
There's a few minutes left to go here in practice. I believe less like 4 minutes in practice. Better Place, Sears, Gaiman still top 3. Peltier still 4th. 15 cars in this all-star race. It's going to be interesting. Everyone trying to push the limits here. It will be a 100-lap affair.
And like we saw during the Open, 100 laps go by quick here. They keep it clean. They keep it green. We may be in and out here by 9.
No. Peltier Sharps found a way to get behind pit lane.
Yeah.
How? Because first of all, Peltier Sharps actually parked underneath one of the awnings. That's amazing.
Very odd.
So there must be a way to get back there. But Pelletier Sharp is completely done running laps because Pelletier Sharp just kind of sitting in the garage area, so to speak.
Yeah, she's been there for a while, kind of rewinding the tape back.
So it looks like drivers meeting going on right now.
How did she? So she. Oh. So she went through one of the pit boxes to get back there.
I
Interesting.
see that there's no pit wall. Yeah.
Yeah, so she went by the pit wall, and since it's all non-collision, she just drove on through. She better just hope that there's no meter maids going around or cops with tickets. Looks like she'll work her way back out through the pit lane here. So a minute and about some change here left before we start qualifying.
We'll throw back here. Tommy Withers in the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Usually in the 23, but in the 6 for one night only. Our overlay's going to say 23 still, but he's in the 6. So we'll have to be careful on that one.
And that is going to finish it up here. Or warm-up practice. We're going to get ready for qualifying here for the ARCS A² Cup Series All-Star race.
Tobias will be the first one to set a qualifying time, it looks like. And he has changed his mind.
Never mind. Who will blink first here? Don't all rush for the door at once.
Estes will go ahead now.
Yep. It's going to be Estes and Ray, first two leaving the pit box. So what can the 29 do here? Donald Ray as well. Kruger just started a lap. We'll see what they can do. Obviously, S is going to set the table, be in the first car across the line. Second lap, more of the money lap here. We've seen drivers improve on their second lap a lot more than on the first lap. Ryan Pennell going to go up to third. Tommy Withers going to finish. Gaiman about to finish his second lap here, along with Tommy Withers. Gaiman holds on the P5. Can Tommy Withers get anywhere close to the top position here? He will gain a 10th, but won't gain any more, so he'll slot in P7. It should be also worth noting as well, unlike you would normally see here on A squared competition, there are no qualifying duels. Drivers are qualifying for their times and are respective of where they are going to stay, and that is where they will officially qualify. So, unlike every other week where qualifying only matters for the front row, here, if you qualify 5th, you get to keep your spot and stay 5th.
Here comes Tom Sears.
Mm-hmm.
On track now.
Only driver right now going to start a lap. Because right now there are a few drivers still on lap, taking extra laps to get adjusted. Tom Sears only one doing a lap for time. Tom Sears coming across the line for the first lap. What can he do? Gonna be enough for P2. So second lap here for Tom Sears. Can he find another 10th in that machine? Jump a little higher. He's going to struggle off the last corner, and that is going to kill any chance of an improvement as he'll loop it. Barely scrape the wall, but no chance of improvement for the 14. He will stay second. And his line power teammate here, Featherplace, Brandon Featherplace, where will he put that machine? Looks like the first lap did not count. That's going to be all on the second lap here of the number 34. Currently one of the highest drivers in the point standings without a win. Even though a win wouldn't help him in the playoff hopes, he would like to at least win the All-Star race to give himself some confidence for the second half. And he will slot in P4 and that number 34. So as qualifying is coming up to about half over here, we're still waiting on some qualifying runs from Bran Roberts, Davey Houck, Edward Marshall, Lily Pelletier Sharp, Kevin Feemster, and Joshua Garrison. Actually, some of those, I think, no, yeah, they can still set times. So we'll have to wait on those drivers to take a time if they so do. It's now hit the 5-minute mark. Looks like Sharp has, at the very least, sitting at the edge of pit lane right now. So it looks like she may be the next driver to elect to take a lap here. We'll have to wait and see. Only one driver.
Pelletier Sharp should not be, I don't think, is eligible to qualify here. Because she advanced to the Open. She advanced from the Select to the Open and advanced from the Open to the All-Star race. So I don't believe she's able to qualify. I believe the only ones able to qualify would be Bren Roberts, the one.
Yeah. But since Kruger won the Open, so she was allowed to qualify, though? Just asking question there.
Yeah,
okay.
Anyone that had to advance in from the Open or from another session cannot qualify.
Okay, because Kruger did, so that's why I was just kind of wondering. But she's also, I guess, full-time. So, yeah, if that's the case, then Garrison, Feemster, Sharp, and Marshall all cannot qualify. So that would just leave Brent Roberts and Davey Howick to elect to qualify if they do. But right now, it's a quick lap around here, though. So it is believable they could wait this out. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Oh, Emma Kruger kind of just in the chat she did a bad, so I don't think she was even supposed to qualify either.
Yep.
So, interesting. She'd make it an EOL. So yeah, again, if you are coming in late here, just in case anyone is tuning in late, this is the A Square Cup Series All-Star Open here at North Wilkesboro. As we're just finishing up qualifying here, about 3 minutes and some change. Oh, guess about be 2 minutes and some change to go here. And then it's going to be 100 laps for the main race. Olivia is calling you out, Carmen.
What am I being called out for again?
Retweeting nerd
Browsing
stuff.
Twitter.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on track. I can't do anything.
Yeah, only car who's doing laps is Don Ray, and Don Ray is taking it behind the wall now. So, yeah. Just waiting to fill some air here.
Why, yes, this North Wilkesboro asphalt is made of asphalt. What am I supposed to say? I kind of used all my talking points during the intermission.
Yeah, we talked about the new drivers, the upcoming calendar. Gave you guys a little A Square Cup Series debriefing. So yeah, as we are coming close to an end here, just hit with 50 seconds to go here. With no other driver attempting to qualifying, the final running order will be Toby Estes, Tom Sears, Donald Ray, Brendan Featherplace, Ryan Pennell, James Kerr, Joshua Gaiman, Tommy Withers, because Emma Kruger did qualify ahead of Tommy Withers, but with her not probably being allowed to qualify, she may be getting a start in the back. But if they do allow her to stay there, then she will be starting P8, Withers 9th, and then it will then presumably be probably Bren Roberts, Joshua Garrison, Davey Howick. Roberts, Marshall, Garrison, Howick, Feemster, Sharp, presumably rounded out unless they go by, obviously, order of where they finish in the Open, if they set that beforehand. But that is going to be it. Qualifying done. And we got a race to go through.
$100 laps is what we got to deal with here at North Wilkesboro. Again, this is what we're looking forward to. 102 degrees Fahrenheit. The track temp, 79 degrees, the air temp. The important thing is that these tires are going to wear significantly here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Going to be a fun one to watch. Toby Estes on the front row alongside Tom Sears. Donald Ray makes up row number 2 alongside Brandon Fetterplace. Ryan Pennell and James Kerr make up row 3. Then it's Josh Gaiman. And you'll see McCurr will get an EOL and will start at the back of the field. Was not supposed to qualify in tonight's All-Star race. Withers and Marshall in row 5. Then it's Paultier, Sharp, and Hauk. Garrison and Feemster. And then Bren Roberts will start in the back. So you look further on down. There's the row 7 and row 8. 15 cars on track for tonight's event.
Waiting for the last few cars here to come on in. That will be that. She's still waiting on Brent Roberts. And now they will roll away for 2 warm-up laps, and then we'll be ready to go.
1 lap of formation left here before we go racing here in North Wilkesboro. 100 laps. For some, they've already run 90. We've got 100 more to run to be an all-star race winner. It's Estes and Sears in the front row, and away we go. We're racing at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone holding the station for the most part here. Other place under attack here, but it'll hold station. Then it's battle for 5th between Kerr and Pinnell.
Kerr in a throwback car, a very vintage throwback car. We'll lose a spot to Ryan Pinnell. Davey Houck, who won the select.
Yeah, there's a big train there. You can just see in the perspective battle for 6th, the 7th, the 8th, all down there. There is nowhere to go. It's like rush hour.
It really is. And it's going to be for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you see Feemster went a little wide there. Got a little contact.
Slammed the Hooters 16 machine there.
With Edward Marshall. They will be in the 16. We'll have to get that fixed.
Oh,
that's Kruger
and Feemster in 2 indirect incidences there. Feemster smacked the wall a ton. Kruger didn't. You could see the bumper falling off 21.
Feemster's engine's gone.
Yeah,
and he just pulled it off here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no caution because 2 separate instances unrelated. So we stay green. Meanwhile, up front, you can see a battle for 2nd, 3rd right there.
And there's a caution.
Ray. Yep, so we're going to late call clear. So now that will be a neutralizer here. Don Ray was able to get around Tom Sears before the caution was called, but Estes was able to get a little bit away. And that will be the first caution of the night. So yeah, as we kind of saw during the open and then as well, it's very easy to just get the car a little bit under power awkwardly, and the car will kind of kick out if you're not expecting it. And there claimed 2 drivers in Kruger and Feemster, with Feemster having the tow while Kruger was able to keep it going with very little damage just because of where they spun, with Feemster losing it coming right to the start finish line and Kruger losing it just coming out of 4. So it should be worth noting, unlike in the open, we are following regular ARCS procedure for this, or A-square procedure, in that there will be a choose cone in effect for the drivers in question, so they can choose the lane they feel comfortable in wherever they like to go. So when we get the 1 to go, coming to the 1 to go, they will make a choose. It will not be this time by, it will be next time by. It'll be interesting to see, because unlike a lot of other tracks where there's previous knowledge and officials during the week to kind of plan out here, a lot of these drivers, some of them, this may be the first time they've ran a modern day cup car on this older service. So strategy may be a little bit, their strategy books may not be as up to date in comparison to other tracks in previous history. So we'll have to wait and see how these drivers like to choose here. So it looks like we're actually going to go 1 more round here because pit stop windows come out. If you can see Feemster leaving the pit lane here. He will be at least 4 down.
Yeah, that's going to be a big killer for Feemster. The only positive there is that Feemster's the only car a lap down.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got time.
Reminds me of the champ car race last Thursday, where being the only car a lap down, you can get a couple laps back if you get quick cautions. So, gonna get to the choose here. Where will Toby Estes choose? And he will go high, so Donald Ray will file in low. Hopefully that's low enough for a race control, because he did kind of hold the middle there. 5th place will then slot in high. So with this re-affected. It's going to be Estes Ray in the first row, Feather Place Sears row 2, and Pinnell and Hawk making up row 3, or Hawk, I should say. So that'll be your first 3 rows here. Basically going to take the hard right into the pit lane, and green flag back in the air, and away we go again. Estes gets a good launch, Feather Place as well, and he could be on the attack here for second. Ray's able to slide back up, though. Kruger looks like she had a mistake into 1, so you may see her also.
Trouble. Yeah.
45 as well. Looks like a few incidents between the 61. Looking through the board, yeah, it looks like it was Marshall and Sharp. So maybe 2 separate instances.
Here's what it looked like.
Heard it may have been an incident of the black flag.
Well, it didn't even start with Pautier Sharp. It started with Ryan Pinnell, who tagged the wall.
And what I heard is Ryan Pinnell was maybe trying to clear something.
Yeah.
And hit the wall trying to do it.
So that was one that started on the exit of turn 2 and made it all the way around the start-finish line.
Yeah. And I just want to see something real fast. Yeah, all that was a coordinating effect there. So it's gonna be our second caution of the night. You'll see Sharp, Kruger, obviously 3 out of the 5 cars that qualified through the open, not having the best of days right now. Highest runners currently from the qualified open is Marshall, currently in 7th, and Garrison in 8th. But they all get out of the pit lane. Every car that pitted onto that sequence will get out before going a lap down. We'll catch up to the tail end here. We're on lap 14. Tobias is still your race leader here. So we're coming up to the choose again. I would not be totally shocked. No, I would not be shocked if Tobias stays high here like he did last time. Ray, I do wonder, because he gets the lunge going into the corner, but under the previous restart, he did end up kind of getting jumped off the line. So we'll see if he elects to hold the bottom here, but right now, how low he is, I assume he will be staying to the bottom as well. And yep, both drivers will choose where they need to choose here. With Sears in Feather Place, row 2, and Kerr and Hawk, or Hawk, I should say, row 3. And just kind of finish it up here. It's Marshall and Gaiman making up row 4, and Sharp and Kruger making up row 5. Or, sorry, Sharp and Garrison. Kind of flip-flopping a little bit. Yeah, it's Sharp and Garrison. So anyway, though, regardless, Estes Ray making up row 1. Pacer going to pull off. And we're going to be underway again here on lap 16, going to 17. And Estes gets another good launch again. Feather Place looking to try to clear again. See Kruger rum right in there off the wall, gonna tap it just a tad. And there's the battle heating up for second. Other place, Ray, it's 2-2-2. There goes the 16, he's gonna get loose along with Sears. Sears saves it. The 16, on the other hand, of Edward Marshall will also save, so both drivers keep it straight. And we'll both keep it clean. So we stay green. Just shows how tricky that is. And there's another incident right there. You can see James Kerr hits the inside wall. He'll get it refired, but he hit that wall a good amount in that 75. We do got a battle for second as well, heating up as well between Feather Place and Ray. Ray's able to hold off the Feather Place. Feather Place is poking. Oh, Donna Ray does what Kerr did and Sears did before. And will end up just tapping the wall a ton, and that's going to cost him some spots. Feather Place as well just got loose. Oh, and into the outside wall. And that will be a caution. Sharp wrong way around. Luckily, everyone will avoid her. There's a lot of drivers really struggling to get the power down here, and that's going to be our third caution of the night. One car even in the grass. That is a 75 of James Kerr just trying to get around here.
So long, everyone was behaving really well. And it slips away so quickly here.
Honestly, it's odd because they're really struggling. Like, we didn't see it as much during the open. We didn't see it much here. It looks like they're just trying to get as hard as they can on the throttle. And they're pushing just a little too hard, and the cars aren't liking it. Meanwhile, you'll see on the left, well, obviously, in my perspective, Feemster will get his lap back, and he'll now be 2 down. So if the cautions keep coming, Kevin Feemster could get back on this lead lap. Sharp obviously not going to go out here before going 1 down as the pace car is going to pass. So now she will be joining the 1 lap down club along with James Kerr, and then one behind will be 2 laps down, Kevin Feemster. So on lap 23, we got 11 cars on the lead lap, 14 cars still running. Only car not running right now is Bren Roberts, who did not take the flag. So we're coming up to the choose this time. Well, coming up to the flag this time by. As we do come up to the flag this time by, we'll be at the 1/4 of this race will be over on lap 25. So choose effect in effect here, and it looks like Estes is going to go high, Hawk going to go low, Feather Place low, Ray high. The first time we've seen that 121 machine up front since the open to qualify for the main race. Well, I should say the one even before that. Green flag in the air, and away we go again. Hawk Estes gets a good launch there. Ray going to be in the attack, could clear the 121. Ember Kruger also there, poking just in case something happens. Side by side for second. Oh, Kruger tried to go for a switchback, and she's going to lose the car. And she'll keep it okay. It's for the most part. Doesn't look much damage on that Intel machine. But definitely not. She just got back up there. That's not what she wants to see. Ooh, 121. Backed up the center of the corner. Allowed Ray to get a little closer. Right there, battle for third forming with Feather Place and Ray. You see Ray getting the run off the corner, so he's trying to run that middle to high groove. And there's Donald Ray as well. You can see just kind of in a bit of no man's land here. He gets the runs to get close to the 121 and then falls back to the clutches. And right now, a bit of a train is forming. See, it's the 121 of Hawk, Ray, Feather Place, Marshall, Gaiman, Sears, all in this little train. Just see how close Feather Place is getting. He could use the bumper if he so chooses, but this early and in an all-star race, even though there's just pride on the line, you don't want to end up wrecking someone because they'll keep in the back of their mind. See there, right there for second. Ray gonna make a move. Senses the opportunity, gonna go aggressive on the brakes. Oh, they almost touched there. And Ray's gonna get the job done. Now Feather Place is gonna try to mosey his way on in and leave the 121 at the dry, and that will be. So 2 spots lost for the 121. So now he's gonna be back on the challenge here for the 34. Nothing's being missed up front. Tobias has got an 8/10 lead over the second place battle we're watching right now. There you can see Gaiman and Sears fighting for 5th and 6th. Sears, though, still got his foot in it. He could get the spot there. Very odd lane choice by Sears, really ripping around that top side, but looks like he'll end up losing a little bit of tenths there. Right now, without the constant pressure, Ray has been able to kind of reel back in Tobias. His last time by, he was faster. This time by, still faster. By a couple tenths, so Ray is slowly reeling in that 29. But it's one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to pass. Time by, looking at the lap times between the top 3. It was Feather Place fastest by a 10th, and Feather Place just got a little squirrely. As we see the cameras kind of cutting through the field here. Looks like Joshua Gaiman in the 61. Everyone's kind of just gotten into their own little rhythms here. They're just riding their own races. We got a little bit of battle forming a little bit down the field here between Pinnell and Marshall. It's that 16 Hooters machine is looking to try to make a move on the 12. Other than that, though, you can see Sears, the other close battle we got right now, is kind of forming as the 121 has fallen to the clutches of Joshua Gaiman. As the top 6 is getting kind of bunched up here. As I sense a move maybe going to happen here, at least either the battle for second or the battle for 4th. So looks like Gaiman's going to have a chance here. Going to be side-by-side coming off the corner. Well, almost side-by-side. A little bit of a bad exit there. But he's getting the run he needs. And now he'll be side-by-side there. And the 61 will get the job done. So put the 61 up to 4th and put Hawk down the 5th. Because Donald Ray has cut in a lot on Toby Estes right now. He's got it down to 3/10. And it's closing. So the battle for the lead is heating up a little bit here.
Long run pace is going to be important. And we saw that. I saw that in the open that we started this broadcast with. Once you get a green flag run, it becomes so imperative to start saving your stuff. And if you can't do that, you're kind of just you're in no man's land. It's so hard. And you see Toby running a different line than Donald Ray. Donald Ray trying to close in and doing a really good job of that too. Doing a very, very good job of that.
Yeah, you gotta run different lines. Just try whatever you can. See where the car is comfortable. But like you said, Carmen, you hit the nail on the head. Long run pace is going to be a factor in managing your stuff, especially if we don't get a caution here. As they're about to hit the halfway point here. Lap number 50.
And caution's out.
Caution, and it looks like it was for...
It's the stage, it's the halfway point.
Stage, thank you. So that will neutralize the field. Drivers come in, get some fresh rubber, fuel, tires, whatever they want.
James Kerr will be the first car a lap down, so he will get the free pass here.
Correct. Yep, so everyone's going to dive on in here. Obviously, James Kerr gonna get the lucky dog, so he will stay out at least one rotation. And it looks like, yeah, 21 of Feemster and the 45 as well, gonna stay out to try to take the wave around. So Sharp will also be put back on lead lap as well with the wave around. And Feemster will now be one down. However, the only disadvantage is unlike Kerr, who can pit, Sharp and Feemster will not be able to pit to get fresh stuff. You'll see the 75 come on in. So it did give us kind of a good information we're going to see here for the first 50. We kind of can use some of those notes to figure out what we're going to see for the next 50. And right now, the way I see it, Toby Estes has a good short-run car. He's definitely strong on the opening bits of the restart, but when we got near the end of the stint, whether he was saving tires or if he was just, tires were starting to hit a little bit of a cliff, he was falling into the clutches of the pack. Other than that, the 121 of Davey Hawk also is pretty strong as well, but in a short-run capacity, but was starting to kind of lose it near the end. Meanwhile, some cars that are good in the long run, maybe, are Joshua Game in the 61 and Tom Sears in the 14 and Donald Ray. So it'll be quite interesting how it plays out. If we get another long run, we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. So choose coming up here. Presumably, no trends are going to get bucked here. I'm going to fancy guess Toby S is going to stay high and Ray going to go low.
Yep.
Better Place also going to go low. Gaiman going to go high.
Yep.
Should be worth noting the next two cars in line are both Sears and Brian Pinnell takes the next group up because Sears and Hawk both go low. So it is going to allow Sears and Garrison both the ability to kind of gain some spots. But the downside is they're going to have to try to find a way quickly down, or they could get railroaded. So pace car going to take the hard left into the pit lane. Green flag is out, and away we go for the second half of this race. Estes, great launch. Donald Ray gets some horrible wheel spin, and that's going to allow that outside lane to capitalize. Gaiman going to make out like a bandit, going to fall in second. You can just see the ill effects of that wheel spin right there. It's caused a big checkup where drivers are just kind of nose to tail here. Ooh. Sears going to struggle as well. Locks it down, keeps it straight. but loses some time in the process. Don Ray has been able to hold on to third with Ryan Pennell. Still in that game for Pennell and Garrison if they can find a way down here. Garrison is going to be under pressure here from the number 16 machine. Pennell, though, going to get around feather play, so Ryan Pennell up to fourth, so just shows the effects of the choose cone right there. Played it right, got the wheel spin to go in his favor. Well, I just maybe gave him a little bit of a curse as he's going to struggle. Coming back up the surface, almost takes out feather place, keeps it straight. Feather place definitely going to be quite shocked that almost went sour, but we stay green. There, Tom Sears and Garrison fighting hard. This battle for second is heating up between Gaiman and Ray. Ray all hounding the back of Gaiman. Ryan Pennell, though, kind of struggling here. Going to allow a spot to go to Sears. Donna Ray going to be on the inside, the 61 of Gaiman. Side by side across the line. And Donna Ray is going to get the spot here with the runoff, presumably. And he will. So put Donna Ray, recovering from the wheel spin, will get second position. And Gaiman will fall down the third. Looks like Ryan Pennell may have had a slight mistake. He's fallen down 3-4 spots. Yeah, he is spun off into the corner here. Off of one. Yeah, now he's in the infield grass right now. It's all gone wrong for Ryan Pennell. He's going to try to get it refired here. Yep, you see him right there in the grass. That was a 12. Going one down. Some heavy damage on the front. There's the battle for second. Donald Ray, though, not going to get too far here. Gaiman's there, and also Feather Place. This battling is what that 29 wants to see. It's allowing him the opportunity to run his own line and get comfortable. Just cannot, I mean, Gaiman cannot finish the deal on that high side. Ray's still there. And Gaiman will get the job done. He'll be up the second again, but Ray is just going to stay low here. Feels like he can keep getting the runoff. And that high line is where you kind of want to be, but then inside line, if you can arc it right, you can stay side by side. Meanwhile, while they scrap, Estes has gotten up to 1.5 and growing on this battle for second. So again, one car may have to eventually just say, I got this. And it looks like with Ray having that slight mistake, it's going to allow Gaiman some time to cook here. And they're going to have to use the remaining 30 laps to try to hunt down Toby Estes. Still side by side, the two just trying to find, basically get the anchor out here to try to stop the bleeding. And he'll finally get it done. He'll slot back up here in fourth position. And then you'll see the battle for fifth between the 16 of Marshall and the 19 of Davey. And the 16 will end up taking a spot here. Gap is 1.7 as we're under 30 to go here. Can that 61 or 34 reel in Estes? Got it back down to 1.5, under 1.5, but they're going to have to put some killer laps and even have a chance. That time by fastest on the track was Joshua Gaiman. Especially with the pressure from behind the 34, he's got to keep it going. Gaiman's gotten some breathing room here at lap 74. And he is reeling him in slowly. That time by, Estes, actually, my mistake. Last time by, Gaiman was faster by a good margin. 18.8 for him, 19.7 for Estes. So Gaiman's got the hook, he's basically got the hook on the back of the 29, and get the reel out. That time by, Gaiman was still faster. But not the fastest in that battle of the three. That was Feather Place. Just hit 25 to go. Another temps shaved off for Gaiman. He's running the line he needs to. They will cut some lap traffic here. They got two cars up on the road here. It's the 21 and the 45, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Two cars took the wave around, and they're side by side right now, which is not what Toby Estes wants to see. They hope they just kind of said, oh, 45 gets bumped. That's going to be right in front of the pack here. 45 will save it. So 29 going to get around here. 61 going to try to force the issue quickly, and that checkup is going to cost a lot of time for Toby Estes. So the battle of the two cars fighting for, I won't say the wooden spoon, but just outside the top 10, ends up causing an accordion effect that's going to allow the whole pack to catch back up to the leader. They got one more lap down car to navigate, the 21 Kevin Feemster. They both will get around successfully. Feemster going to hang into the wall. By the way, if you want to see the example of old versus new tires, there's your prime example with Feemster and Sharp not pinning on the last caution.
Yeah. They took a gamble trying to get the lap back, hoping that the caution would come out quickly, and it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Feemster was going for the lucky dog. Sharp was just hoping to get recycled. Well, with 20 to go here, Gaiman's got some newfound life, and it looks like he's got an opportunity here. So getting a little bit spaced out here for third on back.
Gaiman right there on the bumper of Estes.
They are going to come up on the 12 here as well. Ryan Pinnell. It's about half a corner up. They will catch him for the end of this race, but that will be the last car they should touch. And the real question is, what can Gaiman do? How bad does he want this? Bandit Racing versus B-Tron with Line Power in a distant third. That time by advantage Estes on lap time.
Just marginally, though. It's so close.
This time you do not want to make a mistake. At least the one positive is Estes having that long distance for a lot of this second half of the race. He was able, presumably, to save his stuff at least a little bit, while Gaiman had to fight through Feather Place, Donald Ray, Marshall, just to name a few. So Gaiman's used up his stuff just a little bit more than Estes. But now that Estes has kind of had to get the mojo back on, let's see how it balances out. Good run off the center of the corner there. He's peaking. He's going to probably have to try an alternate line here. We know he saw take the kind of middle groove around Donald Ray. I think he's going to try to stake up for that again here, or at least bait and switch. And he's going to go for it here. Going to hang it around the high side.
Yeah, he's got at this point. He's got to try something, and he's kept Estes from being able to go back to the wall.
Pinching him. Estes going to get clear here again, though. Will Gaiman try to maybe, I think it's a little bit too early to send a lunge into a corner. He's going to probably hang high here. Oh, Estes is able just to get up to the wall here, but can't finish the job. Barely can get up there. It's right, 11 to go. You'll see Ryan Pinnell just in the distance there. It's the only lap car between these two they'll meet. Estes got some breathing room here. Run a good couple laps there. Was able to get some breathing room. Right now, I'm wondering if that was maybe the last hurrah for Gaiman. Is Gaiman starting to kind of fall off a little bit? He's getting the good entry into the corners, but he's just not getting the exits he needs.
With 8 laps to go. Quarter second is the gap.
We know Gaiman's an aggressive driver. What will he do to get this win? It'd also be worth noting as well, Toby Estes does not have a win yet in the A-Square Cup Series. Even though it's an all-star race, won't matter for points, won't help him in the standings. It'd be a good pride thing for him. Gaiman's already won at least once this season. He won at Bristol Dirt. So Gaiman's kind of, even though playoffs don't matter, Gaiman's done something that Estes has not yet. Even looking in the top 5, the only winners of this top 5 is Joshua Gaiman. This time by, it's going to be 5 to go. Gaiman running consistent times, but just not enough. Gaiman gets a little squirrely there. Fought the wheel, keeps it straight. They say loose is fast. There's a good chance actually will catch the 18 to Garrison. Garrison probably going to hug the wall here. Gaiman's going to hope they get around him quickly here to give him enough time if he needs it. 4 to go. That time by, Estes was faster. Not going to be clear yet. Still side by side. Gaiman going to the wall here, trying whatever he can. Got a little squirrely. They're going to make it 3 wide.
There you go. That's the move that he needed to make. Now he's going to make it stick. Coming to 2 laps to go.
Estes is going to have a quarter panel there. Can he get the runoff he needs? First time he's been on the back foot in a while.
Oh, Gaiman's got clear, but he can't come down the track.
Should have the opportunity now if he needs it.
Gaiman got clear just in the nick of time. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go in the All-Star race.
Gaiman going uber defensive here. Does not want to take a risk here. Actually, he's going to kind of get set up the track just a tad. It's going to allow Estes an opportunity. 2 corners to go.
Does Estes send it? Oh, he might. He's not holding off on it. Gaiman runs up the track. But he wins at North Wilkesboro.
Gaiman first, Estes second, Feather place third, Ray fourth, Marshall fifth, Withers sixth, Kerr seventh, Davey Hawk eighth, Tom Sears will bring it home ninth, and Garrison will finish at 10th. And you get victory for Gaiman right there. Estes maybe not too thrilled with Garrison. Yeah, they're wrecking him behind the line here. Garrison, Estes not too thrilled with each other. Gonna probably see him in the hauler afterwards. But regardless of that, Gaiman going to burn it down, and you kind of can feel the pain for Estes. It's so close past couple of weeks and has not gotten the job done. But Gaiman going to celebrate hard here with the victory in the All-Star race.
Job well done for Josh Gaiman. 5 career wins in the series. Obviously, this doesn't count officially. But a nice feather in the cap for Josh Gaiman.
He's going to burn it down here. We'll see if we can get the top 3 in here for interviews.
Really good drive there by Josh Gaiman. Winner here at the All-Star race.
Mm-hmm.
North Wilkesboro, once again, a really good finish.
Yeah.
Really great job by all the drivers tonight. Fun to be able to take part in this. Really fun night tonight. Obviously, some more short track racing tomorrow with the HTL Cup Series, but we're going to see if we can talk to the top 3 in the night's race, because they did a phenomenal job. Josh Gaiman, Toby Estes, and Brandon Fetterplace. Top 3 here in North Wilkesboro. We'll see if we can hear from them here in just a second. Give me a second here for everyone to kind of jump into the waiting room. While we do that, here is the results from the race in their full entirety. Josh Gaiman, Toby Estes, and Brandon Fetterplace sit 1, 2, and 3 ahead of Donald Ray, Edward Marshall, Tommy Withers, James Kerr, Davey Houck, Tom Sears, and Josh Garrison round out the top 10. Garrison going a lap down there at the end, and Toby Estes believing that he was cost of a race win by that 18 of Josh Garrison. Just behind that, Louis Pelletier, Sharp, and Ryan Pinnell finished 11th and 12th. Kevin Feemster finished 2 laps down. Emma Kruger, who won the Open, only getting 28 laps in before retiring, finishing 72 laps down. And Bryn Roberts not taking the start here in the All-Star event. See if we can hear from a couple of our podium finishers. We'll start with Brandon Fetterplace, 3rd place finisher in the 34 for Lion Power Motorsports. Brandon, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Well, obviously, I think it's going pretty well. I think a pretty fun weekend overall here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Kind of walk through your perspective here tonight. Obviously, 3rd place finish in a non-points event, but a good feeling overall finishing on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really good. I mean, we were in practice. I was fastest in practice. And then qualifying, I got into the wall a little bit and kind of ruined my lap. But the race overall was actually a pretty good race. We were all racing pretty hard and pretty clean. And I had burnt my right front off with like 20 to go, so I wasn't going anywhere. So it would have took both of them taking each other out for me to do anything.
Obviously, first time a lot of people have raced at North Wilkesboro, and what a shift it has been. How does it feel kind of just being able to race here at North Wilkesboro to begin with? Obviously, such an iconic track, such a legendary track, being able to come back and being able to just see this track in any capacity. How has that been as far as just being able to kind of live through a little piece of history here?
Oh, it's actually really cool. It's unlike any other track that we go to on the regular schedule, and it's far more technical. Tire fall off is crazy here, and I actually really enjoy racing here because you have to attack it way differently than anywhere else. So it's really neat to kind of race these older tracks to see what this was like.
Yeah, obviously tonight was a lot of fun. Chance to kind of relax, kind of let it all hang out a little bit, but it gets back to business in one of the longest races of the year. It's the 300 next week at Charlotte. How are you feeling going into that race, knowing how big that day is going to be and how long that race is going to be, and one of the more grueling tracks on the calendar?
I mean, I'm feeling really good about it. I've been, me as well as all of Line Power, we've been putting in the time, putting in the practice. So Charlotte, I feel like is going to be a really good showing for us as a team overall. So I'm actually pretty excited. Let's make it 500 laps. It's fine.
Well, obviously, going to be a lot of fun seeing how everything's going. Obviously, you have some new teammates coming in for Lion Power. Got the chance to work with them for the first time in the Open event here tonight. Before I let you go and kind of let you just relax and enjoy the real life All-Star race going on, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations, Brandon Fetterplace, on a third-place finish here at North Wilkesboro.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Ghost Energy for being on the car, Line Power, Edward Marshall, Emma, Tom, of course. We work well as a unit, great team. I'd like to thank them for all their help. Thanks to everyone who watching the broadcast. You all put on a fantastic broadcast, and I'm just glad that, everybody enjoys themselves watching. And I'll see you in Charlotte.
Absolutely. Again, Brandon Fetterplace, third place finisher tonight in North Wilkesboro. Enjoy the podium and enjoy the All-Star race going on.
Thank you very much.
That was Brandon Fetterplace, third place finisher. It's going to get a little bit spicy here. Second place finisher Toby Estes. Hear what he has to say here. Second place had a race win in his grasp once again, but not enough here tonight in the All-Star race. Toby, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. What's up, buddy?
Obviously, a little bit of spice at the end of that race there, but a lot of pace in the 29 for Bandit Racing. Kind of walk through your race. First time at North Wilkesboro Speedway. A special feeling for sure.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of practice, but car felt good. Was able to save tire and have good drive off through the whole race, but unfortunate there at the end. Felt like I got caught up by a lap car, but I mean, it is what it is. Me and Gaiman got to race each other somewhat clean, so pretty fun. I thought he lost it going into one there on I don't know if it was the white flag or the lap before the white flag, and I thought I had a chance, but yeah, after that happened, it kind of threw me out of a rhythm and just kind of along for the ride at that point.
Obviously, it's been an interesting season to say the least. Looking at this season as a whole, last year you had a couple race wins under your name at the time the season ended. How much more difficult has this season been for you compared to last season? And obviously with Charlotte coming up, how do you rectify that and try to get yourself into the playoffs?
I mean, I have a different approach this year. Last year, obviously was my first year, and I didn't really know a lot of people, and I kind of just wanted to go out there and make a name for myself and show them that I'm fast. But I mean, obviously I'm pretty consistent, or I like to think I am. Pretty good at saving tires. I mean, we'll go to next week at Charlotte, and I'm pretty solid at Charlotte. I got a good line for Charlotte. It just depends on how the whole race turns out. I mean, everybody knows, the first two stages could go all your way, and then, towards the end of the race, I mean, it could just all unfold.
Honestly, tonight a good way to kind of unwind and relax and enjoy a little slice of history. Before I let you go and enjoy the All-Star race, I know a lot of people are watching it up in the ARCS Sports Bar, but if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, Toby, the floor is yours. Congratulations on a podium here at the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro. A little slice of history here tonight, and you're on it, second place tonight.
Yeah, obviously shout out to the Bluegrass Bandits. They wasn't here tonight other than me, but yeah, I mean, a fun track. It's good to do a little bit of short track racing and there not be points involved. You can kind of just let it hang all out. And we obviously wasn't racing for $1 million tonight, but the way me and Gaiman were racing there at the end, it almost felt like it. But yeah, shout out to the teammates and shout out for you all broadcasting the race. I hope it was as much as fun for you guys as it was for me.
I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed being a part of the Open there at the beginning. Obviously a lot of fun. Toby, and enjoy it. Kind of enjoy the All-Star race, and we'll be seeking on you next week at Charlotte.
Yep. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's night.
Thank you. That was Toby Estes, second place finisher here tonight for Bandit Racing. Just so close to a race win in the All-Star event, but still so far away. You got to feel for him. It's been such a long season already, and he's got so far to go, but so much work to do to get into the playoffs. One of the most competitive fields in ARCS competition. This is the pinnacle of ARCS racing, and it shows here tonight. Very good racing between him and Josh Gaiman. We'll hear from the race winner here in just a second. Josh, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Alrighty. Hope you didn't use all your luck up tonight, but what a way to get a win at North Wilkesboro. A little bit of history here tonight for ARCS. You're an all-star race winner. How does that feel going into one of the most important weeks of the year?
Yeah, it's pretty big, especially being North Wilkesboro and just everything that whole group of people with Dale Jr. and everybody did to bring that track back and bring it to iRacing is really cool to win at it. Definitely didn't think I was going to be that quick going into practice. The car just was a little sketchy on the exit of 4. It felt really good everywhere else, but 4 was just a really bad problem corner. So once I got a long run on the car, though, it started to feel way better, and then I got the confidence to push the car a little bit more.
Obviously, a lot of fun in the event tonight, and we can talk about Bristol tomorrow night, but I think it's kind of the same boat there. Looking at next week, getting back into the points action here for the A-Square Cup Series. Some new faces, some new names. Some of them appear tonight. How do you attack the longest race of the year next week?
Yeah, that's definitely a tough one. I just got to really, keep everything smooth and not cook the right rear, because Charlotte's kind of known for doing that with this car. I mean, pretty much every mile and a half really seems to, you feel like you're going to get tight, and then all of a sudden it starts snapping loose and walking sideways off the corner. So, I mean, it's a pretty long race, so I just got to keep the car steady and keep the right rear on it.
Obviously, a lot of fun, and obviously the All-Star is still going on tonight, so we'll let people kind of get to enjoying what's left of that race here tonight. But before I let you go, obviously a busy week ahead. Not on the ABN side of things. We're off this week, but you're racing tomorrow night at Bristol. You're racing next Sunday in the A-Squared race at Charlotte. So if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Josh, the floor is yours. Congratulations on your race win here in the All-Star race. Enjoy it. It's North Wilkesboro. Always your first.
Yeah, big shout out to B-Tron. Most of the guys weren't here tonight. Some of them are off doing other things, or I know Steven's at North Wilkesboro right now. The lucky son of a. Yeah. But big shout out to 213 Simware, Maconi Setup Shop, W Energy. 3 good partners that I've had for, gosh, it's literally been a year at this point. So hopefully that'll continue for even longer. Shout out to the ARCS guys for putting this on and using a close to the real life format. It was a cool format. It was really fun to watch the race, to watch the open and stuff, to kind of see how the racing was going to go. And I think once we got to the actual race, we got a little bit rougher with each other, of course, because why not? Yeah, and you for always doing these broadcasts. It's fun to have up on the side, just to have something else going on. And a special shout out. I'm gonna shout out Home Depot for all the tables, ladders, and chairs I'm bringing to Bristol tomorrow.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Josh, enjoy the rest of the All-Star race going on tonight. You're an All-Star race winner here in ARCS. And obviously, we get to see you tomorrow night in the HCL Cup Series at Bristol. So have fun with that, and we'll be keeping an eye on that 61 on track. Enjoy it, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
That was Josh Gaiman, race winner tonight here in the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro. Interesting little take on tomorrow night. Get a little bit of a prediction on how tomorrow night's going to go. Going to be a lot of fun seeing how that all plays out. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., it's the end of the round of 8. Someone's making the championship 4, and 4 are not going to be making a championship run at all after tomorrow night. Bristol Motor Speedway, 8 p.m. Me and Christina Ryan will be covering that race. We hope to see you all there. For those that are about to tune into the All-Star race, we hope you enjoy it. Thank you all for spending your Sunday evening with us here on ABN. It's the ARCS Darkside Mustangs A-Squared Cup Series All-Star Race. Again, we thank you all so much. On behalf of my co-commentator Kevin Young, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for tuning in to ABN Esports. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy the week ahead. We'll be seeing you tomorrow night at Bristol. Until then, we'll see you next time.